Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for today's webinar. It is Learn the Iconic Day Trading Methodology. This is presented by the iconicdaytrading.com guys, Peter Wright and his trader Luigi. My name is Rob Lifson. I'm one of the senior sales associates at Lightspeed. We run these weekly, monthly webinars, try to provide some education and insight, provide some different angles and strategies and people to give some just different advice, for not really advice, but just try to get some different views on trading and monitoring the markets. Before we get started, I just want to do my quick disclosures here. We have all of our disclosures on our website as well. Please note this webinar is for educational purposes only. This is not intended to be any type of educational advice, investment advice, any guidance to buy, sell, or hold any security. This is purely for educational purposes. You should be aware of the various risk disclosures involved with day trading. Day trading can be extremely risky. You should be aware of all the different risks and rules involved with trading and on a margin and the potential risk, and make sure this is suitable for you and your investment objectives and your financial situation. Please also note that Lightspeed Trading is not affiliated with Iconic Day Trading, nor any of its presenters. This presentation is strictly for educational purposes. You could always view any of these risk disclosures on our website, and feel free to call or ask us about any of these. This presentation will be displayed for future viewing on the Lightspeed website, along with all of our other webinars, so you certainly could go back and look at these. Feel free to ask questions as we go, and feel free to type them in. If they fit in with the topic at the time, we'll get to them. If not, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of the presentation as well. So we're happy to have Peter present here today. This is their first time presenting with us, but they have a lot of experience in trading. They have built some educational programs and some philosophies and trading plans, and we just wanted to invite them over to share what they're doing in their trading room. They have a lot of people saying a lot of good things about the trading room, so we just wanted to, give another insight onto what people are doing. They review a lot of real trades and provide a lot of analysis, so we wanted to share that with you. So we're very happy to have them here. So I'm going to shift over the presentation here to Peter. He's going to get started, and he will be able to share the screen. So thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and here we go. Now, Peter, you are now on, so take it away.
Sounds great. Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending. My name is Peter Wright, and I am the founder and lead trader of Iconic Day Trading. I just want to take a quick 30 seconds and reiterate what Rob said about disclosure. This is for educational purposes only. I was a licensed broker back in the 80s, and that is no longer. So this is purely for educational purposes only, and day trading is extremely risky. And this information I'm about to present to you is just that, is for educational purposes and hopefully to make you a better trader. So in a little bit about my background, I started trading back in the late 80s. Okay, I blew up probably around 85,000 in market tuition, listening to all the so-called market gurus that are out there, and surprisingly to this day they're still there. And I was part of several rooms. I was moderator in several rooms, and I began to see the dark side of the business. So I kind of looked at myself. I'm like, okay, here I am, fortunate enough and blessed enough to be trading for a living. Okay, what I used to do is I used to trade the open, and then I used to, a lot of people flip real estate. I used to be in the restaurant business as well. I used to buy and sell restaurants. So I trade during the day, I do the restaurants at night, and it was great. But I'm like, okay, when you're gone, Pete, what are people going to remember you for? What can I do to pay it forward? And on my website, my followers, my traders, everyone knows it's about paying it forward. So that's what I am trying to do. I am trying to save a lot of the traders out there a lot of money from joining other rooms to being with a genuine room, if it's myself or a few other legitimate rooms, which there aren't many, that actually care and teach you how to trade. My room is small. It will always be small. It has to be small because I trade, and I won't be able to trade properly if I have a large room. So, space is limited in the room, and as simple as that. What I do in Iconic was started to actually teach you the proper fundamentals and technical analysis of what to look for before we enter a trade. So a typical day in Iconic will start with a pre-market meeting. Okay, I will post the stocks that will be in play, and that's very important. If you guys don't have pen and paper, please get pen and paper and take notes, because I'm going to be just talking from the hip here, talking from the heart, and I don't have a set agenda, and that's how I work best, is just talking what comes to mind. So we go over pre-market plan. I go over the stocks, we post them on the note board, certain price points, what to look for. Okay, that's first of all. Second of all, at the open, okay, everything is shared via screen share through the open, through the entire trading day. When I enter a stock, you will hear me call it out. You will see it on screen share. Okay, as far as when I'm in it, what I'm looking for, what's happening, our target, everything is laid out for you. Okay, other rooms that are out there, okay, will say, okay, I'm in this stock at, around this area, or I'm long 5,000 shares, or I'm going to teach you how to trade in a week for $500. It doesn't work that way. It takes a lot of time and a lot of screen time to properly learn how to trade. And what I found, my room is about 8 months old right now. What I found is people are out there, they just want to take the calls. They just want to know when to get in and when to get out. And they say they want to learn how to trade and be self-sufficient, but they really don't want to put in the time or the effort to actually learn how to trade. And if that's you, then Iconic Day Trading is not going to be the room for you, because we are all about teaching traders that are coming from other rooms, that have blown up their accounts, that are passionate about trading for a living. And that's what we do. We teach, with all the BS aside, we teach you how to trade properly. Trading, to me, at this point in my career, is relatively simple, okay? And if you've been trading for more than 6 months, more than 8 months, and you're still not over the hump, okay, but you do have a sound foundation, you do have a good method, there is no magic formula, okay? There is no missing indicator. There's nothing you can add that's going to make you a better trader. There is no secrets to making you a better trader, okay? The problem lies within you, okay, and the emotional aspect of trading. And that's something that I am big on, is teaching you how to handle your emotions while you're trading. Because if you cannot do that, you will never succeed as a successful trader, ever.
That's right.
Emotions are extremely important. And Luigi, if you want to touch base on that real quick, tell people a little bit about your background, and then we'll get into some chart reviews and how we properly trade the markets day in and day out.
All right, yeah, I'm Luigi, a trader, moderator in Peter's room, our room, Iconic Day Trading. I've been trading for about 12 years. The good, maybe 6 or 7 years, I was more like a fundamentalist trader, where I would just buy stocks, hold them for like 5, 6, 7 years, and get a good return on them. Do a lot of analysis on the companies, and pick the right ones that I think would be good for growth long term. But then, with the technology boom, I got into the more of a short-term trade. At the time, was more maybe 6 months trading for me. Eventually, I migrated to the day trading aspect, the intraday trading, and that's when I learned the horrors and the hard sweat that it takes to be a day trader, and the little information is out there that's accurate, and or at least at the time for me, which was worth looking into. like like Peter, I've been to several rooms out there that I blew up my account. I lost about almost $100,000 about 3 years ago, and I was just about to give up until by chance I met up with Peter and introduced me to his method, and I took a year off to just study it because that's what it takes. You know, so many traders are attracted to trading because they think it's an easy way to make money, you know, and sometimes it is, and statistically, it puts the amateur at 50-50 chance of making money with the professionals, but the irony is that the ones who actually are consistent and are very successful at it are the ones that put in the work. So you got to put the work in. I took a year off and I just studied everything that Peter was, told me to study, train, and I'm real consistent now. I've been very consistent with my trading, and we have a tracking system now in place where, most of the calls in the room that we take that have been, looked over by Peter and I or Peter himself, and, we're hitting like almost a, maybe 8 trades a day, 8 out of 8, perhaps 7 out of 8. It's a pretty high return rate, and most setups are 3-to-1 setups for those that understand that, and we're very patient, and we help as much as the traders in the room that go into positions that might go against them. We find a way to get them out of it, most of the time pretty green. So all my experience with that has been in the last better part of 3 years. But this time I took with Peter really enhanced the learning curve to get back into the successful day trading in consistency. I'm not saying that new guys can take 1 year and learn it, but I've been in the market for over 12 years, and it took all that culmination, but getting the right mentor, which was with Peter, to really just chisel the sculpture out into a work of art, which now I'm very proud to be in the room and help anybody. I'm paying it forward as much as I can. So I'm happy to be here, and it's opportunities are there.
All right. Well, thanks, Luigi. I appreciate that. Another purpose of the room, guys, and again, it's very important to me, is to get you in the room, teach you how to train, and then have you move on. Okay, to trade for yourself. Unless you happen to like, being in the room, having other people, to bounce ideas off of, that's fine if the room allows the capacity. But my goal as a mentor, as a trader, is to have you come in the room, learn the system. That way you don't have to rely on a chat room for your calls. You are self-sufficient. You can fish for yourself. You don't have to pay your monthly fees anymore. Okay, and that's really why I started this room, is to help people that really want to be a trader. And you'll be surprised how many people come into the room. They give me, they fill out the little trader form, they say how passionate they are. I tell them what they got to do. They don't do it. They're done. They're out of the room. So, the opportunities are endless. They're endless. So if you really want to be a day trader and be consistent, the opportunities are there if you're with the right group. Okay, and if it's me, or like I said, the other 2 or 3 legitimate ones that are out there, great. If you're going to listen to the get-rich-quick scams that are out there, all they care about is their subs, as they call them, their subscribers. They don't care about you and how you're doing, because I was a moderator in, unfortunately, a couple bad rooms, and I saw how many people got blown up, and they just don't care about you as a trader. Okay, so I'm going to move on to that, and I'm going to go over about how we do what we do in Iconic, okay? And it's really relatively a simple system if you understand moving averages and certain patterns and trend lines on how I break down the trades, okay? And this goes for every single trade I take, okay? We always start looking and scanning from the daily to the 60-minute, to the 30-minute, to the 15, 5, the 2, and the 1-minute chart. Okay, we always break that down before we enter a trade. We have a reason why we enter a trade. We have a target that we're looking for before we're entering a trade, and we always have our stops before we enter a trade. We always have a plan of why we are taking a trade and why we are exiting a trade and why we are stopping out of a trade. If you're taking a trade without a plan, okay, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to lose. Okay, you need to have a plan and you need to check the different time frames. It's very, very important. It has saved me a lot of money over the years. For example, okay, I'm going to start with this stock that I played yesterday. Just a beautiful, beautiful stock. I sold it way too early, but usually, you know, when a stock's down this much, okay, it tends to retrace at least a third of the move, okay? And I was watching this on one of my bottom screens yesterday. I was watching it. So here's my 2-minute chart, okay? And I'll go over some of these lines in a moment. I picked this up down here, I believe around 65.18, okay, right above the 200 and 920 cross, which happened around 2:30, okay? So I flicked over to the daily chart, okay? You go to the daily chart, you look right here, hopefully you can see my cursor, at 62.85, around 62.50, 62.85 is where you had previous, you know, trend line support. So you hit it once, you hit it twice over here. And again, I'm hoping you can see my cursor. So you can see that trend line, and if you take that, the trend line that's drawn, it goes right to that area. Okay, it hit that area, and I was expecting that to bounce into the close. So that's the daily. Okay, you go back. Now I'm on the weekly chart, and this is why I do multiple time frames and why we have such a great win-loss ratio for points, because we don't trade the overcrowded stocks. We don't trade for 10, 20 cents. We try to get multiple points out of stocks. That's why it's important we check all the time frames, because if you're trading a stock on a 2-minute chart and you're not checking a daily, you don't know if it's coming up across the 50 or the 200 or, you know, a certain support and resistance area. You have to check the multiple time frames. So here again on a daily.
Any chance, sorry, Peter, any chance to make those a little bigger or zoom in a little bit?
Yes, sir. Let's see if I can do that. How's that?
Oh, much better.
Yeah, much better.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
Okay, so here, this is the weekly chart. Same stock. Okay, you can look at right here. You got a little double bottom taking place. Okay, but even before that double bottom, you have trend line. You got trend line support right across. You guys can just draw that line and see it. The line should be there, but you can see that. So now you have two confirmations on the daily and the weekly that is hitting support. Okay, it was down big, hitting support. So that tells me, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on this stock because in all reality, it's due for a bounce. Okay, so I go back to my 2-minute chart. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Okay, and here we go. I mean, first of all, the 920 cross, the 9-period moving average, and they're all simple moving averages. I do not use exponential moving averages. They include pre-market data. This is a simple 920 cross. Once it took out the 200-period moving average, which is this dotted red line, okay, and I had the confirmation with the volume, which is another big indicator. Your moves have to be accompanied by volume. If you don't have the volume, the move is not a real move. It's very important. The more confirmations you have to take a trade, the more you have the probabilities in your favor. And all trading is, guys, is having an edge. It's having the probabilities, knowing when to go big and knowing when to stay away. There are rooms that are doing 30, 40, 50 calls a day. That, to me, is ridiculous, and that's over trading. You know, we'll do 5, 6, maybe 7 calls a day at the most, but the calls we take are quality calls, and we'll sit there and we'll wait for these setups. So going back to this 2-minute chart, you see the volume, okay? You see where I got long around 18, and it just rode this 9. This is the 9-period moving average, the gold, all the way up, and it never gave you a reason to sell this stock, okay? Right underneath it, you got the 20 MA, okay? Never gave you a reason to sell the stock. I actually sold it way too early. I was in another position, and I just took it off radar, but that's the kind of things that we look for. Multiple time frame confirmations, support and resistance, 920 cross over an important moving average, such as the 200 or the 50. VWAP is very important in my method, and volume. Okay, it really is as simple as that if you know what to look for. There's 6 candlesticks that are extremely important as well, which I'm not going to get into right now. I just want to continue doing some of these charts because these are, again, the backbone. And this is how you're going to learn, by doing your screen time and studying charts. Okay, this was a PF, I believe it's Performance Foods. This is a daily chart. Okay, again, you can pull up this chart and you can see the trend line. Just draw it right across. Okay, so I knew when this was down, okay, this was the area right here that I was interested in going long. Okay, me and probably thousands of other traders, because when I was a prop trader, this is what I was taught to look for. And all really trading is crowd psychology. Okay, we trade against the amateurs, and 9 times out of 10, you know, we will unfortunately take the amateurs' money. And on that note, I do want to say, for those that aren't at the PTD limit, that are, you know, trading offshore, you know, with a $1,000 account, $2,000 account, there are firms out there that have black boxes that do trade against you. They will take the opposite side of your trade immediately because they know that you will eventually blow up. So keep that in mind, okay? Because again, this is the ethics that a lot of companies lack. It never ceases to amaze me, and that's really what I'm trying to bring to light, is the opportunities, the people that are out there to try to sell you your dream, but all they're doing is taking your money. You know, they're selling you false promises. So it's important that you realize every aspect of what's involved in trading, who you're dealing with. I do trade with Lightspeed for the majority of my trading. You have to have a reputable firm, okay, especially if you're trading with such a small account. So going back to this, you can see, I don't have to draw the line. You can see the trend line support. So as soon as it came down, you know, hit the 41 and change area, you knew it was going to be a long, and that's exactly what happened, accompanied by the volume. It was just a beautiful, beautiful trade. And all these trades are in my webinars. They're all broken down step by step. This BSOFT, BSFT, this was actually the other day as well. What we have here, this lavender line or pink line, is the previous day open and close. It's extremely important in my style of trading that we have this. Aside from that, they're just regular moving averages and a couple scripts that are written for me based on what I wanted. So this opened up really low, okay, had earnings miss, spiked back up. As soon as it hit this upper area of resistance, okay, and you started seeing the red volume, see the volume right here, how big it was, and then it just dropped off. That's a clue. Say, hey, you know what, this move is not going to hold, okay? You can see the huge volume spike and then nothing. So you know what, red candle is going against resistance. I'm taking a short. I took it short, hit the 200. I'm still good. I have nothing to worry about. Comes up, tests red to green, and it fails. So you add to the trade. Comes down, tests the 200 again, testing VWAP, and it fails again. And notice there's never any huge increase in volume. The trend stays intact, and you get the second leg down. Okay, there's always the first leg down. If the VWAP fails, it keeps on getting stuffed at VWAP, you need to add to the position and take it down. So it popped up a little bit. It did close above the 920, which is one of my rules to actually exit the trade. But I had the 50 MA right there. Okay, so I let it test the 50, and the 50 failed, and it came back down. But one thing I always tell my traders is you need to look to the left. Okay, because that's where you're trading from. So you look to the left. You have a double bottom here. More importantly, I always have 2-day charts, by the way. You have another double bottom here. So even if you just take that look to the left and put that in your trading, you will save yourself a lot of money, or you will make yourself a lot of money, because that tells me, you know what, double bottom here, look to the left, you got a triple bottom here, it's time to get out of the trade. So you get out of the trade, you got the 920 cross, and it comes right back up. Okay, so to me, looking at these charts and executing the trades is relatively simple. Okay, and it will get to the point for most of you, if you do your screen time, that it becomes second nature. Okay, learning my method is not a difficult thing to do if you want to put in the time. The difficult thing to do, guys, is manage your emotions. Okay, and again, I'm the only room that teaches that and helps you walk through it and gives you the confidence to stay in the trade, to let the trade work. So with this stock here, this is Tech. Came out with earnings. It was just a beautiful short. I believe it was yesterday, around around 103. So I pulled up the daily, and you can see the trend line. It's right where it stopped. So I was talking to Luigi about it. I'm like, man, this 103 and change area looks really, really nice for a short.
Yeah,
That's
zoom
why I
in
checked the
just a
daily.
little bit.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Sorry, I got used to doing this. There you go.
Nice.
So you can basically draw a line from here all the way across. Okay? That's why you need to look to the left, guys. The left is going to tell you where the stock is going to go. Okay? If this resistance wasn't here, and if it wasn't here, because this is actually trend line, it was resistance, then it became support, and the support broke, then you got to 200, kept on failing. Then it had a nice breakout, nice volume. But look where it stopped. Look to the left. That's where it stopped. So that's what made this a beautiful short. And if I pull up this 2-minute chart, you can see it right here on the chart. Okay, this indicator again is a script. Okay, so as soon as it peaked out, and market makers are so good at doing this, guys, as soon as it peaked out of this upper line, okay, which I'm going to call an upper line, okay, they got you trapped. They think it's breaking out to new highs, and then it comes down. As soon as it closes below it, which is important, guys, if a candle closes, a candle may break it, okay? It may break the 9, or may break the 20, but what's important about the candle is where it closes. So if it breaks the 9 MA or the 20 MA, and then comes down and closes beneath it, the trend is still intact as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so this was the area to short right here. Okay, the amateur traders probably went long on this fake breakout. You can see, look down at the bottom, guys, there is no volume. Okay, I told you, volume is a very important indicator. If there is no volume, there is no trade. So the amateur trader took this on the breakout, looking at to go to new highs, which it did by about 30 cents. So came down, we knew it was getting weak. You have a double top right here, because this I totally ignore. This is just a trap. And then you got the 920 cross and just a beautiful, beautiful fade right down the VWAP. And this was confirmed on the daily chart, which gave me confidence on the 2-minute chart to execute the trade. So Luigi, let's give you some time. Let's put up some charts and let's see what you see on some of these charts here. Let's go with VRX. I know that's one of your babies. So this is a 2-minute on VRX. So why don't you explain to the people that are in attendance how you interpret this chart?
Absolutely. If you mean me a favor, Peter, can you expand it just a little bit?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh, but there we go.
How's that? All right.
That's good. Well, VRX is one of those stocks that has wild ranges, and you have to trade it with volume. Volume is a big indicator for me as far as where to move and the direction is going to go. it gapped up pretty decently here in the morning. Looks like pre-market. Uh, but notice in this area right here, right there where the 920 is, it crosses pre-market, but still, it was just a straight down. Um, this actually works as well in pre-market. You could have just took a short there, anywhere in this 29.75 area. It just went straight down. It's massive flush here, all the way straight down to perhaps that blue line, Peter. What's that? Your
The blue line is a 50, and it actually flushed. It actually flushed even further. This was just the time that I took the shot, and
right.
for me, the reason why I took this trade and I was confident in it is you have a double top put in, came down, tested VWAP, came down, made a lower high. Very, very important. So you got a double top, made a lower high. You enter the short, you got the 920 cross as additional confirmation. Okay, what's my stop? My stop would have been right here. Okay,
Yep.
this double top, that would have been my stop. So it made a lower high. You got the volume starting to come in. You got the 920 cross. You're short. It breaks VWAP and off to the races. I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful play. And there are so many confirmations that that the chart gives you that all you have to do is execute it and manage the trade properly. And you'll be surprised, a lot of the guys that come into my room, they're more comfortable letting their losers go against them than actually letting their winners run.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big thing that I work with my traders. You have to have the proper risk-reward ratio. And again, that's something that we teach in our room. It's just not about, hey, I'm long VRX at 29.69 or I'm short, whatever. There's a reason why we are taking the trades. Everything. Go ahead.
On that VRX trades, Peter, you want to mention as well is it never threatened the 9 or the 20. It just went straight down.
Exactly.
Another reason that you can be taken out of the trade is if it closes green above the 9, and it gives you a reason to get stopped out because it could be a trend reversal. But as far as what we're looking at now, it never really went back to the 9 or the 20 moving average. It just went straight down. So that short was pretty much a safe short. You could have just stayed in it and just let it ride.
Exactly. And like Luigi said, the 920 are our main indicators. Once it breaches it, okay, for me, it's a change of direction or a stall, and it's time to get out. As long as it's riding the 9 and 20 down, there's no reason to exit the trade. None. It was just a beautiful, beautiful trade when it's in play. And again, I'm jumping all over the place, but the stocks that you trade, okay, will either make you or break you, okay? I choose the stocks for our traders and Iconic for a reason. They will be in play for that day. They are not overcrowded stocks, okay? There are a lot of rooms that play, the stock of the day, scalping, trying to catch the tops on a parabolic move, making 30, 40 cents. That is not the way we trade, nor is it the way I recommend anybody to trade. You need to trade with the trend on stocks that are trending. The less wicks you see on the candles, okay, that will tell you if a stock's in play or not. If you see a stock that has a whole bunch of wicks, that's all over the place, there's nobody playing the stocks. You need to play the stocks that the props or the professionals are playing. And again, that's something that, I'm fortunate enough to bring to the trading community with my past prop experience, is knowing what stocks are in play and what stocks aren't in play. Because the stocks that are in play, not only am I playing them, I have thousands of other traders playing the same stocks. And that does matter. Matters a lot. I'm going to pull up AGN here. And you can see with these lines, I'm just going to call these lines again, this was a beautiful, beautiful play all day, scalping, left and right, left and right, left and right. AGN has been actually one of the room's favorites. I'm going to say probably Luigi and I's favorites as well. I mean, this stock has just been an incredible trading stock. This has been in play for a while. So Luigi,
Right there.
yeah, you want to talk about this? I mean, I'll let you talk about it just so that people know that what I teach,
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Yeah. right from the get-go, I mean, the stock, you could have waited for it to just work out. Whatever the bugs in the morning, sometimes the trade will just go everywhere, and you just wait for it. We wait for the setup. We don't want to be anxious and trade something, it's stuck in it. So this one was a waiting game. And right around 11 o'clock time frame, you started seeing, look to the left, you start seeing this area of congestion. It was like this double top area, and that would be the first indicator for me. It's about to, do some sort of major down, or pull down more. So I think we took we took short here in this area. I don't have control of the mouse there, Peter, but
Yeah, I
it's the
know.
11 o'clock area there.
Right here.
Confirmation to the left, it's like double top congestion. It's an initial entry right there. And, sure enough, it worked out. It kept going down, down, down. It crossed a 920, gave it more conviction. You could have took a short there as well.
Right
Those
here.
that might have waited for the actual signal for the 920 cross, and then take it down to this this line area of resistance, and you could have covered there, the support line area. Some traders take it on the reverse end here for a pop because of how we can cover. People are mostly covering the stock. It's going to probably bounce from this area and straight back up to VWAP. And you just start establishing this pattern. You start just watching this pattern over and over and wait for the next setup. Even if you don't trade this area all the way to that 130 time frame, it's 1330 is 130. You can just wait for the next setup. What popped up again? The same area. Look, that 130 area to the left, the double top. It keeps failing this double top area, which is, something. Another indicator was telling me, okay, it can't break this area, so take another position short. And you could have let this one ride all the way down. It was a great trade that they for most of us that took that trade.
Yep, exactly. And here, this candlestick, not only is it on that special line that we use right here, and by the way, the dojis, the hanging man, I mean, there's, again, the 6 candlesticks are very important. You have to know these 6 candlesticks. Change of direction is coming. So not only do we have the candlestick on this line of support, we had a little bit of volume coming in, and we had 1, 2 confirmations. The 9 was starting to flatline, starting to curl up. You take it long, you knew it was going to go back up and at least test the 200, which it did. It came down, hit the 20, bounced back up, tested it again, okay? It breached it and closed below it, okay, which is a sign of weakness. So what do? You take it short and you ride it back down to that little special line again, okay? So this was a scalp all day in several different directions. AGN has been going line to line for us. Same thing with Netflix, and these 2 lines are really our go-to A+ setups. Okay, all the rest are 920, 50, 200, and VWAPs. They're just standard, and they are very important as well. Okay, but these line-to-line plays are what we do. I mean, this is how we make the points. It was just a great trade, even though it was a lot of movement, which was great. Okay, if you look at the moving averages, every moving average cross, even though it is a little bit of a lagging indicator. Okay, every moving average cross, it followed that direction. Even if you just followed the moving average crosses, you would have made points after points after points on this trade. So again, example of a stock that's in play. If it's with the algos, the HFTs, whatever, they use something similar to these lines. So I even have that in our favor, and our traders know that. So it ended up being a beautiful, beautiful trade, and it continues. I mean, AGN is kind of like our go-to. This PXD on a 2-minute chart. This is just another example. Popped up. You can see it popped up at the open. Okay, it put in a double top right at that special indicator. Okay, it failed to breach that line. Okay, so once it put in a lower high, you take it short. It broke VWAP, which is this white line right here. Let me blow up my chart again. I'm getting used to this. Here we go. So as soon as it put in this lower high right here, and it failed VWAP, you take it short. Okay, Where's your stop going to be? Okay, you always got to ask yourself, where's your stop? Your stop is a close above VWAP. That's your stop. For the more aggressive traders, okay, your stop would have been initial entry because you have the special line here, where if it bounced back up to that, I would have added to it. And knowing that I had that as my stop, I probably put another 20 cents on it to risk.
Peter, could you expand that chart, please? Sorry.
Sure. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it came down. It failed the VWAP test. 920 cross. Beautiful, beautiful fade down. Okay. Now here, again, look to the left, guys. Okay. Why do you cover here? Okay. There's really no reason to cover. If you're just looking at this area right here, okay, there is no reason to cover right here. If you look over to the left, look what's there. Look what's here. Okay, that's signs of previous resistance, which will now act as support. Okay, so that's why looking to the left. If you just do that alone and that's the only thing you get from this webinar, it will dramatically increase your trading results. So you look to the left, you see, okay, you know what? I got triple top coming. I'm going to cover. You cover the short, it goes back up to VWAP. Okay, and yes, I'm a huge short side guy. I'm a short side trader. I short a lot of stocks. I do take longs. A lot of the guys in the room take longs. Most of my calls are shorts because shorts break down a lot faster than the longs do. So just want to make that clear. So again, you got a VWAP test. It breached VWAP. It tried to breach it again. It closed, made a lower high. You reshort it. Comes back down again. Look what happens at that same area. Okay? It comes down, it breaks that area, bounces up, broke the 9, bounces up to the 9. Beautiful elephant bar was put in right there. Gorgeous elephant bar. Okay? It's getting close to going from green to red. Okay, so yeah, you know, I'm looking to the left. I see all this congestion right here. All this congestion. So yeah, I'm okay. Got my hand on the trigger, getting ready to take it off. Never gave me a reason to. It broke, it faded down beautifully, but now when you see this candle being bought up, okay, this right here is a very bullish candle. Okay, you look to the left again. Okay, this is the area where you have the previous support, which is going to act as support right here. That's why you get out of the trade. Okay, if you didn't have this as a reference, you would not have known to cover here, and you probably would have been stopped out. Okay, so again, just another example of how we look at trades, what we look for in our setups, and how we execute them. Okay, and again, the big thing is the moving averages, these special lines, and knowing where the stock is coming from on the daily, weekly, 60, 30, 15, 5, and 2-minute chart. All of my entries are on the 2-minute chart after they're all verified. Luigi, this is an easy one. REGN has been an incredible stock for the room. I'll let you dissect this because this is just picture perfect.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Can you expand it once again for me?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to just write a sticky note. I can remind myself. Go right ahead. How's that?
Yeah, thank you. Let's see here. Yeah, this RGGN is definitely a stock that moves in directions of points when it's in play, and sometimes it takes very little volume to make it move. On this particular trade, we're looking at what, 2-day, 2-minute. Okay.
Yeah, you got one day here. Here's
yeah.
1 day, and then we got the other day over here.
Got it. This double top area, I usually use a 1-day, 2-minute intraday chart, but I can see where you're, and then my 5 minutes, 5 days. But here on the first day of trading, at 9:30 to the 12:30 time frame, I mean, this whole double top area here, almost like a triple top forming here. Yeah. I mean, every resistance point here was shortable. So this was like an area where it's getting stuffed, where it just can't break this area, and that's where you would enter the short. I mean, for traders that want to take a short after the pattern established, these things are very repeatable. They repeat this pattern over and over, and once you see an area of resistance that just can't cross, and the volume's not there, you just start saying, look at the volume versus that area there, that 411 looks like 85, it just keeps getting stuffed, and it keeps just coming right back down. So that gives you a higher probability that if you can't break it, then that's an area, that's an interest area to short it, and that's where the short would be. And it just took it straight down. There's a 920 cross, and it just collapsed all the way down to that lower band of resistance. And there it is. What's that? The very next day, it keeps basically establishing this channeling pattern here. And I typically don't trade these little channel patterns unless they form. So you see these upside V's, keep going up, getting stuffed in this area. This 1330, this 130 area, 2 o'clock area, it just can't break that area. So I keep that on watch, and once I see it again developing, then I'll take a short on it when it just can't break that resistance. And of course, it just fades in the afternoon. And if you see the prior day, it keeps failing in the afternoon. So that's another indicator to left. Keep looking left to your left on the chart and say, it keeps failing at this time. What are the chances of it breaking out? If it doesn't break this resistance, it's going to fail. You can probably take a short there. I mean, we're talking about probabilities of working out for you, and this is the pattern that we see. Then on Wednesday, very choppy here though, but it just jumped up very quickly. And if you look to the left, that's previous day's top resistance right there, double top. So it looked like you got stuff there. So the short would have been in this area, and just take it down all the way to the 920 cross, and just let it get exhausted here. And once again, this stock has it moves very little with volume, so it's a pretty good stock to make 3 or 4 points on once you get that pattern going. And let's look at that reversal there. It's starting to close. You can wait maybe on the 920 cross to the upside. That green candle right there at that looks like 1030 area. I mean, that's the long right there. And it just rides we call it the 9 train. It keeps riding the 9 train all the way up. Once again, that stuff area where it just can't break that resistance area, double top, you can take a short there as well. So that was a real good trade for those who took it.
Yeah, this was a fantastic trade and great breakdown. Just to let you know, Luigi that doesn't know what charts I am working on and throwing up. So he's just dissecting and telling him what he sees. So kind of keeping him on his toes too, so you guys know that this is legit. So with this chart, I'll just recoup real quick as well. On here, you got triple top. Yep, you're gonna take it short, especially with this candle. Okay, this is a very, very bearish candle. Comes down, look to the left. Okay, this whole area right here was acting as support. It broke down. Okay, where'd it go? Went to a little special indicator. Okay, so you cover it. Okay, comes back up to VWAP and it gets a little choppy. If you guys like to scalp, you can scalp VWAP, scalp it down, but that's not what we do. Okay, so then the next day comes, and again, you open it up, and here it is again. The same exact area at that same line where it failed 3 times the day before. So that's why you take it short. Okay, it comes back down close enough. You draw a trend line here. Just look to the left. This is where you need to cover. Comes back up, hits the line. And what even makes this more powerful of why you got this nice down and this beautiful elephant bar down, and at the time it probably went even further. But you can see the volume came in, but this doji right here at this upper line was your final confirmation. So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 confirmations that this is an A+ setup. You got to take it short. What's your risk? Your risk is the high of 411.85. Okay, so we already know what a risk is going to be. All my traders know what the risks are going to be, we already know what our target's going to be. Our initial target is usually VWAP, okay? So the further away the stock is from VWAP, okay, the better. Because when it hits these lines, we know 9 times out of 10 it's going to come down to VWAP. So VWAP is a very, very important indicator. CDK, this was, I have CDK here, and I have Zillow. This was actually, I think, from today. Beautiful trades. The CDK opened up, as I can't move the scanner. That's just the Lightspeed scanner that I use. On this upper line, it made a high. Okay, right at the open. Let me expand this for you guys. Actually, as good as I can get it. So it made a high. It rejected the band. Okay, and then it came in and made a lower high. So what am I thinking? Okay, this stock's gapping up. You know, I love playing the gap ups in the morning, especially the ones that I know have a great probability of fading. So I took it short. Okay, I wrote it down, got the 920 cross, came down, hit the lower band. It actually broke the lower band. Okay, and then it came back and recovered the band. Okay, so I covered my position. Came back up. It tested the 20 and the VWAP. This was actually a mistake or a trade that I missed today. This was the perfect area to reshort. Because not only do you have a double top right here, your risk would have been a break of VWAP. So your risk is minimal. You already know the stock's weak. Okay, so even though I covered here, in all reality, I should have reshorted here, knowing that I probably have a 30-cent stop and probably a 2-point reward if the trade works. And it actually did. It came right back down. You had 920.50 cross, came down to the bottom line, and that's where it would have covered. Because in essence, to me, you know, anything within 20 cents, 30 cents, I consider double bottom. Zillow, again, was a nice trade for me today. It was up yesterday on earnings. You can see it popped up yesterday. Never gave anything back. It just consolidated after hours yesterday. So I was expecting a little bit more of a pullback today. But once it opened, you see the big green volume. Okay, came back up, tested the upper line, and you took it short. What's my risk? My risk is a break above this upper line. Okay, my risk is always set. Okay, always set. So it got a nice fade right down to the lower line. Okay, and that's where you cover. More aggressive traders could have let it work out, and you know, got a nice rejection here of the VWAP. Could add it to your position and get the extra flush. Okay, but being that this area of let's say consolidation yesterday was pretty close to here, I was very happy getting out at this lower band. Okay, I did miss out on this little half of the move, but I was totally fine with that. It was a safe trade. I had the probabilities in my favor. I had a plan. It was discussed in pre-market, and we knew what to look for. Okay, we had the rising 200, okay, which is a sign of strength. So it was a good trade and a good entry and a good exit. Let's do a couple more, and we'll let Luigi talk a little bit. So try to find a good one here. Oh, it's a beauty. It's ICPT. Again, one of my personal favorites to trade, ICPT. So you can see, you know, pre-market, you know, it's up. You can see the weakness in pre-market. It's just fading, 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 fading all the way down. Okay, it's under. You got the 920 cross. You couldn't break VWAP. It broke the 200 right here at this moment. When you had the 920 cross, you can't break VWAP. It broke the 200. I had a strong feeling that it was going to be a short at the open, and it just kept on fading. Right here, you got the red to green level. Okay, it kind of struggled there a little bit. As soon as it broke, that just confirmed it to me that this was going to be a short. Okay, so it opened up, it tested going from red to green, and it failed. Okay, so you take this short. Okay, what's your risk? Your risk is a close above VWAP. You have to have your set risk, okay, and you have to abide by that. Okay, so I mean, this was a beautiful multi-point trade with so many confirmations that it pretty much was maybe like a 6-to-1, 5-to-1, because your stop would have been maybe what, 75 cents over VWAP. And to be generous, let's just say, I got filled at let's just say I got filled at 160. Okay, to be generous. Okay, it comes down. Okay, I probably would have covered around 150, to be honest, just because it's 150. Those whole numbers, seem to hold. Okay, so if I didn't cover all, I at least would have taken half of my position and let the other half run. Okay, but here I think I pretty much took everything, and then it came down, made a low 147. So that was that 13 points. I mean, that was just one hell of a trade. And then you got this bullish candle, you get a little trend reversal, but that was it. But this trade right here was perfect, and it was all based off of this from pre-market. It's all based on the VWAP, the 200 cross, the 920 cross, and the previous day close. Okay, that tells me what's going to happen at the open, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I can go on with charts and explain charts all day long. So if you guys want me to do a couple more charts, I can do that. What I'd like to do, really, and I should have asked Rob if there's a way I could take a poll, but I'm assuming if you guys are with Lightspeed, you guys are serious traders. So being that you're serious traders, I'm hoping that most of you guys are consistently green. Okay, if you're not consistently green, you really shouldn't be trading a lot of shares until you are consistently green. And again, going back to what I said in the beginning, if it's been more than a year, okay, if it's been more than a year and you're still not showing any progress, you need to look inside yourself, because the problem is not trading. The problem is within you. And when I say that to traders coming into my room, they're like, I don't, what are you trying to analyze me? I'm like, no. I'm like, there's something holding you back. So, there are some recommendations that I do offer, to deal with the inner demons, because anyone can paper trade. Paper trading is the easiest thing to do in the world, but once you start playing with real money, your emotions change.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah, so, I mean, Luigi, why don't you talk about that? Because, when you came back, to the room after you're studying, I know you started very small,
Yeah.
and then you just blew up. So I think it'd be good, for the room to know how you dealt with your emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things I wanted to cover before we finished up here, because chart reviewing is great, and it's good system to see what's going on with the actual trade if you were not in it or not. But most traders that are trying to learn how to trade, that are new, they come in our direction, are a little bit jaded in the sense that they've taken some big hits, some big losses. They might have blown up a few times. They still got the spirit to trade. They still want to be successful, and that's just, they have to overcome that barrier. And I had to deal with it, because it's believing in that, hey, this 90% of the traders out there fail. How can I get into that 10% group? How's that possible? It's just nuts. Hey, why am I doing this? If there's such a high ratio of failure. And the simple reason is that I don't think that the 90% failure rate is always applicable. I think it's applicable for the guys that are learning. But, I believe that once you get to training, the emotional side starts subsiding. And the trading, something I've learned and I take it to heart, is the trading should be effortless. I know this sounds like, man, all the study, what he means is contrary to what we're talking about, study. But I think of it as a runner, an unfit runner versus a world-class Olympian runner. The unfit guy is not going to run 5 minute miles. You know, you might run 20-minute miles. You may not, make it. But what it took for that Olympics type training to get to that 5-minute pace was just training over time, and it's what it takes, training over time. So we can all get that training over time, and when we get to that training over time, it becomes, the emotions begin to start just dissipate. You start seeing your training in effect, and you start to realize that oh, I can do this. This is working. Step by step progress, and if it's kind of like in archery, if you've got to force it, if it's a straining or struggle, then you're probably going to miss your target. So starting small, it all depends on your account size. I mean, you don't want to go 1,000 shares if you only have $10,000 worth of trade. I mean, there's so many different philosophies behind this. But if you have less than $100,000 of trade, then you don't really have an edge. I'm sorry to say this, but it's my experience in seeing so many people and me trading with such little amounts of time. But anything below 100K, I'm not saying it's not possible, but your edge is sort of just I mean, it's not gonna be there with a guy that can out trade you with the institutional level. So the guys with the 5,000, 2,000, 10,000 accounts that they just tell you, oh, you're gonna make $1 million. It's gonna take time and work to put it in. You'll get to certain levels if you continue to be consistent. But you got to put in your mind is your trade, your account size. Don't try and go in with 5,000 shares, 1,000 shares if if you're on margin for $50,000. I mean, you're gonna get hurt. Go small, maybe 100 shares, 50 shares. I mean, you got to be realistic. A lot of guys aren't realistic. They want, the quick buck artist, and that's what's staining the industry. Yeah, we take $1,000, we make 20 grand in a month. I've never seen it.
And that's how you blow up. And that's what I'm trying to keep you guys away from. That's all. So for me, there's just endless opportunities. I just want to make sure that if you're passionate about trading, you want to learn how to trade, don't fall for the circus acts out there. They're just a dime a dozen, okay? And everything I do and we do is as transparent as possible, okay? So if you are passionate, you want to learn how to trade, check out my website. I'm not going to hear, trying to give you guys a hard sell. It's iconicdaytrading.com. I'd love to have you on board. All of my traders, we all do chart reviews every single day, and that's how you get this implanted in your memory. That's why you can look at a chart and analyze it in a matter of moments. They all have my cell phone. I don't know one room that will give out their cell phone. I'm available pretty much all the time for my traders. It may take me a while to get back to you, like 24 hours, but I'm there for you. And same thing with Luigi. So that's another reason why I'm keeping my room small. I want to teach. I want to save the sheep from getting hurt and getting burned from the scam artists out there. And I actually do teach people how to trade properly. And I'm very fortunate to be in this position. So one day when my time has come, I know that I'm going to leave an impact on a lot of people. And that's something that I'm very proud of. So I know it's getting a little late here. We got to wrap it up. So again, please check out my website, iconicdaytrading.com. It has everything on there. My Twitter is at pjrate.com or iconicdaytrading, but mostly I use at pjrate. And check us out. So like I have a lot of videos on YouTube, Iconic Day Trading channel. Luigi is by far my best success story to date. He is just killing it. So on that note, if we have time, Rob, I don't know if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask us. I'm more than willing to. If we don't have time, we can say that for next time.
I've been responding to some of the chats already, but maybe there's some are directed to you, Peter. Maybe we can. I don't know how I can do that now. Look at the chats, or we can talk about it.
Yeah. Do we have time, Rob? We good?
Yeah, we could just do a couple minutes here to answer some of these questions.
Okay. I do have my chat box open. Let's see here.
People are asking about VWAP. It's volume weighted average pricing. That study's not available on Lightspeed Trader, but we do have other trading platforms that provide it. So if people are interested in that, you certainly can ask us about that as well.
Okay. The only questions I see right now are the ones with the organizers. So Luigi, real quick, you want to read out the questions to me, and I'll address them real fast so we can wrap this up for Lightspeed.
Yeah, there's some asking about real-time trading,
Okay.
recorded. Can we see a real-time trade or some minutes recorded from Raymond?
Remy. Yes, there are trades that are on YouTube, the Iconic Day Trading channel. I do record a lot of my trades with screencast that we do use sometimes in our weekly webinars. There are trades that are on my website that are through another brokerage that I can actually show my entries and my exits. So they are on my website. And, if you're interested, shoot me an email and I can send you, some screencast-o-matic, some trades of things that we executed. But there are some on my website with my entries and my exits, this iconicdaytrading.com.
Okay, another question here is, do we have free trials? Asking about a free trial membership, perhaps. Or a free
If you
trial.
guys, if you guys want to reach out to me or Luigi, my email or contact us is fine. I usually don't do free trials just because people come into the room and they get a lot of information and then they'll go back to the other room and it depends on the individual. Let's just leave it that way. It's not that I am against free trials because it's definitely not about the money for me. I just want to make sure that if I do offer a free trial that you are sincere. We do have a profile form that you can fill out and request a free trial. And based on that, I'll probably call you. And, if I feel you're legit, you're passionate, and you really want to do this, and you're not just out for free information, I'll work with you. Not a problem in the world. But if you're just trying to get free information out of it, that's what these webinars are for.
Right. Great. All right. That's basically our time here for today. Thank you so much, Peter and Luigi. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we can have you back here, present again on some other topics. Guys, just remember this will be posted to our website, be available for everyone to view in a couple days, and certainly reach out to Peter and Luigi, www.iconicdaytrading.com. And they'd be happy to discuss some aspects of what they showed here and what they're doing in their educational rooms. So thank you guys very much. Have a great night, and everyone feel free to contact Lightspeed or Iconic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate the opportunity.
Have a good night. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good night.